Michigan replay. The Wolverines and Florida State Seminoles did battle on Saturday, and it was 51-31, 82 points scored. And the sad part is Michigan had the 31, Florida State had the 51. But that is one great football team that you played on Saturday.
Well, I really have to say, Jim, I don't know that I've seen a better football team come into our stadium and play, and I think at times we helped make them a little bit better than they were, but they are a fine team. We got an excellent quarterback, a lot of skill, and great speed. Great speed. Maybe that was the biggest difference in the game, do you think? Oh, I think it was, and particularly on defense where they could get off their blocks at times when I think we should have blocked them a little better. The big disappointment in the game, and you want to play well, you want to do good against number one, you want to beat them. And you got opportunities which we should have capitalized on, but basically we didn't block and we didn't tackle. You can't beat a great team doing that. You got to be superb at times, and some of it was their great ability. Amp Lee had a super day, and Weldon was as good a quarterback that particular day as I've seen.
And the other thing you can't do is turn the ball over, and Michigan did.
Right, and you know, you start out the game, you throw an interception, they take it back for a touchdown, and yet we came right back and scored, and we had some opportunities we didn't capitalize on. But I'll tell you one thing, if I knew at the beginning of the game that I was going to score 31 points, I'd have started, I knew I was going to win that game. I mean, and you can't give a team like that 51, and it's a real setback to our program, and now we got to refocus and regroup, and we got a tough opponent next week.
No question, it's a tough opponent next week. It may not be any tougher than what Michigan faced this week at Florida State. Don't go away. We'll be back and take a look at all 82 points when Michigan Replay continues.
Changing your communication system? Michigan Bell can get you...
With 82 points scored, we'll get right to the highlights, and you don't want this to happen on your second play from scrimmage.
No, that pass was really there. Elvis has to feel Buckley coming up there. He overplayed the play, gambled, and it worked out for him, and they take it in. Now, Elvis has got to feel that he can't throw that ball in a particular case.
Gives them a 7-0 lead early, but on your next possession, you come right back at him. And I thought this was a good indication that you didn't let that bother you.
Right, they're, powers for 9. Now we come back, and Bernie Leggett on a 4th down. 4th and 2, we make it. Come right back here, and Elvis hits Desmond on an out cut. We're mixing up a little bit, Jim, and this is the kind of drive we wanted to have. 11 plays, 2 passes, and we go down and score a touchdown. We're using the clock. Here's a nice throw by Elvis here and a nice diving catch by Desmond. But Elvis put that one on the money pretty well.
That ties it up at 7-7. But Florida State, the problem is they can score in a hurry, and you got a look at that early.
Well, this was the problem, is every time they'd come back and they hit some big plays and scored fast on us.
And Weldon shouldn't get outside that.
No, right there, he beat a contained guy with his quickness. And here's one of their trick plays, Jim, something I'd never seen before, where you throw back a screen with all the blockers out in front. We come up here, we knock the ball loose, but unfortunately they recover. And, that obviously makes it tough.
And then the other trick play they score.
Then we stop them, and then they fake a field goal, and the guy just makes it over, and that was a good play. But that play we had worked on.
Had you seen that play before?
No, we'd never seen it, but we had worked on it in practice. And it was one of those things. And you got to give them credit for executing, which they do so well. Now here Leggett gets 19. Elvis comes back and hits Yale Van Dyne for 9 yards here in the seam. And again, we got the ball moving.
For the most part, you're moving the football against them. Did you feel like, man, we just, we got to get the defense kind of settled in, but we can move it against them, so don't feel so bad?
And here's the thing we wanted to do is dump the ball off a little bit and run it. But then we got to the point where we had long 3rd downs and had to go back to pass, and we didn't protect so well. Here J.D. just makes one, hits the crossbar here on a field goal, but makes it 13-10. But again, we ate up some clock, and we're doing the things we want to do, and then you turn right around, and in 2 plays they score.
And Weldon again goes to the screen to Amp Lee, who had an outstanding day. Yeah, this guy's a fine back.
He is a great back. There's no question about that, and we didn't tackle well. We made him look better than he was. Here he bounces to the outside, breaks a tackle right there. He cuts back. We got 2 people pursuing really too fast. He cuts back. Now that's lack of pursuit. You should have had other people there. And he goes in 2 plays. So, you're starting to answer, and you get caught up in the thing that you gotta keep coming back at him. or you're going to be in trouble. And yet there's times where we're trying to possess the ball.
That ended this first quarter. 19-10 was the score. They come back. Buckley, their fine return man, does a good job getting them field position.
Right. They shouldn't have had this return, obviously, and then we had a couple returns. And then we have a personal foul there hitting late, and that really helps them get down in there. And then they go, and 3rd and 7, they hit a tight end right down the middle for a touchdown.
Tight end,
in 3 plays, they score.
Tight end was open. Was there a mix-up in the coverage?
Well, in that particular one, I think the corner could have squeezed that more, and you just there wasn't a big mix-up, but it should have been played better. It wasn't a man-to-man where somebody forgot somebody.
You come back immediately and answer again to get yourself back in the ball game.
Fake the reverse, and Elvis really throws an excellent ball here, right on the money, and Desmond, of course, makes the good catch, and that makes it 25-17. And you know, it's putting us back in the game again, but they always appeared to answer here, particularly in the first half.
This is the only time you stop them in the first half.
3rd and 4, Morrison gets a pickoff and gets the ball down in good field position and gives us a scoring opportunity.
You get down there close, now you're thinking like, hey, now we're starting to go. The defense playing a little tougher.
Right. Defense did it. We had about 6-8 plays here. Hit Bernie Leggett in the flat. He goes in. And at this time, you know, it's getting close. There's 25-23.
Went for 2 at this point. What's the reasoning behind it?
Well, you go for 2 because you're only down 2, Jim. So you might as well be down. To be down 1 is the same as to be down 2. And so you go for it. You know what I mean? Because we go by a chart, which is an accurate chart. It tells you when to go for 2 and when not to. We had a man-to-man coverage. The big breakdown was the defender slipped, fell, and then Amp Lee gets a big 50-yard gain there.
They come right back, pitch it out to Lee, and here's what he's so good at, making people miss.
Making people miss. And there's not enough people in the ball. When you're in a situation down there, you should have numbers of the ball because there's no one to defend the goal line.
31-23 at that point, and here comes Desmond, the first time they kicked the ball to him.
Right. Desmond did a good job. He had a good day. He was slowed a little bit because we use him so much on so many different things, but he had a good day for us. 2 big returns, 3 catches, 2 touchdown passes.
And they took Desmond away kind of, so you had to go away from him, and you went to Yale Van Dyne, who produced.
Yeah, Yale makes some good catches. Here he makes a good diving catch on a good play-action pass for 16 yards. Then we come right back and hit Yale for 10 yards. We fumbled the ball right there, but Walter Smith is coming out. And then right before half, this really hurt.
This is a great opportunity. Key play of the game, in your opinion.
Right. We had a great opportunity to score here, and we just underthrew a pass. Probably should have thrown it out of the end zone, and the defender should have reacted a little better as far as knocking it down.
31-23 at half. You missed that opportunity right before half. Wouldn't you have kicked the field goal if the ball would have been incomplete?
Probably would have kicked the field goal, yeah, at that point. And
at halftime, 31-23, it's not the game you expected to see happen.
Not at all, Jim.
What were you thinking going to the locker room?
I felt after 31-23, honestly, I felt that game was long enough to darn near be over. It seemed like a long football game. But I wasn't, you know, I was displeased, particularly the way our defense was playing and missing the tackles. You know, we spotted them 7 points offensively. But it's uncharacteristic of a Michigan team to give up 28 points or 24 points to a team in the first half.
We'll get back and we'll take a look at the second half of Michigan-Florida State when Michigan Replay continues right here.
Once again, viewers.
We go back immediately to the second half highlights, and opening the second half, they were successful through the air. They opened the second half and looked like they want to grind it out on you.
Yeah, they wanted to try to control the clock at this point. We stopped them a couple times, I think, because of it not there. Lee got 19 yards there. Then Bennett comes back on a 13-yarder. Then Weldon goes back and hits Terrell for 15 yards on a 2nd and 13. These are the things that kill you. It's 2nd and 13. Make a guy miss right here, and they come up with a 15-yard gain.
Big play by the defense.
Yeah, this is a big play here because we caused a fumble. They were trying to reach out and put the ball across the goal line. Now, here's where the offense had to come out with something, and we didn't. They ganged up inside, and we came up a couple yards short, and we had to punt the football.
They come right back and go to the air because
Yeah, here's a great throw by getting hit, and then Terrell makes a great diving catch there to go up 37-23.
You committed some linebackers to stopping the run in the second half, which was successful for some time.
Right, and as long as they didn't come out throwing sometimes, we're in good shape here. There's a good rush by a linebacker, tipped the ball, and then Dwayne Ware comes and picks it off. Thing here, and then we try a reverse pass here, and I knew when we got this field position I wanted to try this because really what I'm thinking, and it ends up to be a disaster because they picked the ball off. But I know even if that's incomplete there or Desmond doesn't make a great catch, I got 3 downs to try to get a first down, and I was waiting for that field position, and the whole thing honestly backfired on us.
Well, the score at that time was 37-23. You still defensively are able to do some things, and you come back and have the opportunity moving into the fourth quarter. On 4th and 6, you go for it here, but you just can't get it done.
Yeah, we got a little pressure there. Desmond got hammered in, and it was an open corner, as you see there. They walled Desmond off, and he couldn't get to it. Probably the option we should have taken on that is to come underneath there. Then we get a punt, and we get the good field position here again because Desmond grabs the punt and brings it back.
You thought he was going to go the distance?
Yeah, I thought he was right here. He was slowed. He hesitated right here, but normally he accelerates right through that hole. And we had used him on a lot of plays, and he covered a lot of miles today, and I think he was a little tired.
Another big disappointment.
Right, 4th and 1 right here, and we got an opportunity to pick up a first down, which we did. A very similar situation to that when we dove Bernie in there and we got the first down, but we allowed too much penetration.
And this is a huge play. 3rd and 9, you almost got him tackled, and then he comes out of here with all kinds of time.
Right, just stands there, throws one up. He wasn't even throwing to Bennett there, but Bennett come back in front of their wide receiver to make the catch. Probably either one of them would have caught the ball, but that play shouldn't have happened in that situation when we had a chance to get out of the thing.
And once again, the tight end wide open down the sideline.
Jim, and that's just poor pass rush there. The coverage wasn't any good, but it was poor pass rush. Then they go for it on 4th and 2. We about get him sacked, and a tight end gets loose in the end zone. And right there, we're playing heavy defense to stop the run, which I was in favor of, and we should have sacked him there, and then we didn't get our safety over to make the play.
44-23 at that point. It looks grim, and yet here comes Bernie Leggett with a short kick, comes back, and Elvis starts to click on some passes.
Yeah, right. Here he hits, I think this is Yale Van Dyne. He hits him across the middle for about 9 yards. But now we're in a pattern where we got to throw all the time, and we'd like to do some running here. Here we hit Ricky Powers on a screen pass for 12 yards. Then we come right back and hit Yale on a 19-yarder for a touchdown. Hit him on a blitz here. Guy misses a tackle, and Yale goes in standing up.
And at that point, there's still some time left. 44-23, maybe some hope. You go for 2 points.
Right, we go for 2 points here. Elvis dives into the end zone. Has an opening up there, sees it, takes the ball in the end zone, so the 2-point conversion worked.
Come back with the onside kick, and you're making a run at it.
Oh,
still.
yeah.
You're not feeling like it's over.
No, it's 44-31. We know we got to have some big breaks here, and we get one right here. Maloney recovers an onside kick, which Carlson kicked extremely well. And then we go to work, and here Elvis hits a big one to Waller Smith over the middle. Waller jumps up, makes a nice catch for about 16 yards. And then here it's 3rd and 25, which we get just too much pressure. Our pass rush, and we couldn't get our receivers open, and Elvis on 4th down tries to make a play, and it ends up in an embarrassing situation here because they have a lineman run it in. You can somewhat see there, Jim, you got to try to make a play on 4th down or the thing's over, and you took too big of a gamble there.
51-31 the final. What's the feeling after this game? The feeling of the kids, your feeling? I mean, you said it was a setback for the program. Some people in the parking lot after the game Saturday telling me, what an embarrassment. I don't think it was an embarrassment at all. That's a good team. You played them tough, turned the ball over. There were some extenuating circumstances. This is not a bad Michigan football team.
No, I don't believe that at all. I think we're a good Michigan football team. I'm disappointed in the way the performance of a couple people, a few people really, and as a team in many respects. But yet there were some good hard hits out there. There were some great efforts. Now we got to be a team that can bounce back. It's not going to be easy to bounce back. Football's a tough game. We got to play it that way if we're going to be good. We have to learn from every situation. We got a lot of opportunity to have a good year, but we got one of the greatest tasks that we're going to have this year. This game coming up this Saturday means a lot more to us than the Florida State game. And I would like to have won them all myself, but at the same time, I know the importance of this game. And yet Iowa is an excellent football team, and it's going to be tough in Iowa City, so we got to buckle it up and get after it. The one thing we're not going to do is feel sorry for ourselves.
And that's probably the best.
And I think at times we help make them a little bit better than they were, but they are a fine team. We got an excellent quarterback, a lot of skill, and great speed.
Great speed. Maybe that was the biggest difference in the game, do you think?
Oh, I think it was, and particularly on defense where they could get off their blocks at times when I think we should have blocked them a little better. The big disappointment in the game, and you want to play well, you want to do good against number one, you want to beat them. And you got opportunities which we should have capitalized on, but basically we didn't block and we didn't tackle. You can't beat a great team doing that. You got to be superb at times, and some of it is their great ability. Amp Lee had a super day, and Weldon was as good a quarterback that particular day as I've seen.
And the other thing you can't do is turn the ball over. Michigan replay. The Wolverines and Florida State Seminoles did battle on Saturday, and it was 51-31, 82 points scored, and the sad part is Michigan had the 31, Florida State had the 51. But that is one great football team that you played on Saturday.
Well, I really have to say, Jim, I don't know that I've seen a better football team come into our stadium and play, and now we got to refocus and regroup, and we got a tough opponent next week.
No question, it's a tough opponent next week. It may not be any tougher than what Michigan faced this week in Florida State. Don't go away. We'll be back and take a look at all 82 points when Michigan Replay continues. Michigan did.
Right, and you know, you start out the game, you throw an interception, they take it back for a touchdown, and yet we came right back and scored, and we had some opportunities we didn't capitalize on. But I'll tell you one thing, if I knew at the beginning of the game that I was going to score 31 points, I'd have started, I knew I was going to win that game. I mean, and you can't give a team like that 51, and it's a real setback to our program. And